Hello all. For those of you who saw my post earlier on Facebook about today being such a powerful day for self-mastery, for personal mastery, I wanted to continue the flowing of those energies, the flowing of that theme, by sharing with you that it is 10 years to the month, almost to the day, of the publication and launch of the book that my beautiful co-author Mandy Patterson and I wrote together. Bring it on. For those of you who have had the opportunity to read this, thank you. You'll know that it is a sharing really of intimacy, of vulnerability. It's a sharing of my journey, of our journey, Mandy's and my journey together, since we came back into each other's lives. In particular, in 2004, it details the course that we did of the Kabbalah. For those of you who may not be aware or familiar with the Kabbalah and the way we did the course, the Tree of Life, and it's based on the Tree of Life, is made up of 10 spheres and interconnected with 22 paths. So each week we would do a path work and we would walk a path from one sphere to another. And each path and each sphere has numerous associations, attributions, symbols attached to them. And it was on a particular path working, for those of you who are familiar with the tree, from Tifereth, which is in the middle of the tree, to Chesed, which is on the right-hand pillar of the tree, that I felt, and I still remember that moment, the energies flowing through me. It's the path where we have the opportunity to take an oath of service to the King, in other words, to humanity, to the world. And with all my heart and all that I am, I took this obligation with such seriousness, with such authenticity, and such a sense of, yes, I'm in the space and this is what I want. And it was after that path working, when I was speaking with my elders in the kitchen as we were making a coffee, that those words, the title of the book, if you like, were channeled but flowed through me. Bring it on. In other words, it was a declaration, a solemn obligation, a sacred oath, a commitment that I was making to myself and to be of service and to others and to our world. It was my saying, I'm ready, I'm in this space, this is what I want, I'm here. And my journey has been an ever unfolding path to where I am in this moment since I spoke those words. For those of you who read my posts on my blog and often what I post on Facebook, you'll know that my journey, especially over the last few years, in particular the last year, has been about that sharing of intimacy, that sharing of vulnerability, that sharing of my truth, our truth. Indeed, recently I launched my business that I have for a while now had in my heart, and it felt as the right time, and I have called it Sharing Intimacy because it is such a beautiful, beautiful reflection of me, of my truth and of my path and my experiences. And as many of you also know, I love looking at words and the etymological origins and roots of words. And for me, and these are my words and how I feel and see these words, and I'm sure for those of us who are open to energies and sensitive to energies, and we all are, whether we are aware of it or not, you'll feel the power of the energy flowing through these vessels, and that's how I see words, as vessels through which we can channel, direct those energies that we so desire to. So integrity, intimacy, vulnerability, authenticity, honesty, such powerful words. And intimacy, from the Latin intimus, meaning the innermost parts of something. So for me, intimacy, sharing intimacy, is sharing those innermost parts of who we are, whether that's with ourselves, embracing them and loving them, or with others, stepping into that space with another beautiful being or with our world and saying, this is who I am. These parts of me have perhaps never seen the light, but I share them with you in this moment because this is who I am. And I honor myself in sharing this with you, and I honor my journey in sharing this with you. Vulnerability. For a while, and I remember my posts on my blog, vulnerability resonated with me, then it didn't resonate with me. But now I've come back full circle, or perhaps full spiral, to vulnerability being willingly stepping into that space and saying, these are my wounds. Each and every one of us, to different degrees, has experienced abuse, neglect, codependency, loss, sorrow, sadness in our lives. We have all experienced wounds and hurt from the experiences that we've had. So for me, vulnerability is stepping into the space willingly and openly, in as much as we are able to in that moment, and saying, in the sharing of intimacy, in the sharing of vulnerability, this is who I am. I've been hurt in the past, and I know that my stepping into this space with you could lead to my feeling further hurt. But I am willing to honor myself and respect myself enough, and all that I am, to step into this space and say to you that these are my wounds, that this is who I am. I'm not seeking any sort of approval or recognition. I'm not wanting your compassion or your care necessarily. I mean, sometimes that is the space that we want to share with another. But I'm willing in this moment to speak my truth, to share with you the wounds that I've experienced, to share intimacy with you, the innermost parts of who I am, and allow it to be, and honor myself and those parts and my journey and those experiences in the sharing of that with you. And Bring It On does that in so many ways. It reaches a crescendo, a crisis point in my life, for me, where I had to say to the world, really in no uncertain terms, this is who I am. This is who I was. This is who I am now. And this is who I really want to be. I want to be more of this and move away from those addictions, from those patterns of behavior, whether they were how I thought, how I felt, how I was, how I acted, into another space, a new space. It's not necessarily an easy read, and I still feel those emotions of what I was feeling at the time, or the energy of what I was feeling at the time, not any more the emotions, if that makes sense. And how powerful that was for me, how much of a turning point it was for me, how much of a commitment to journeying within and stepping on, taking those initial steps on the path that has led me to where I am in this moment. And much of that has been about, over the last couple of years in particular, whenever something comes up for me, whenever I feel a certain emotion, whenever I have a certain thought, in as much as I'm able to in that moment, to sit with myself, to sit with that emotion, that thought, and allow it to be there, allow it to flow, without being my best not to attach it to a story or to a person or to a history that I've had or to previous experiences. And just allowing its fullest expression and giving it the space, sharing the space and giving it the space to express itself most fully and completely, whatever it is that wants to be expressed. For me, so much of who I am becoming was is hard to keep track of. And if you hear noises, it's just the wind in the background. It's such a beautiful day. I have all the windows open and just allowing the wind and the energies to flow through. For me, it's about sitting in the space and sharing that space with those parts and those aspects of me, and in every moment, as best as I'm able to love them, to embrace them, to respect them, to honour them. And one way, and this is quite I find personally a powerful technique, is to put my hand on my heart and just say, I love you. I love you. I appreciate you. I value you. I honour you. You are so important to me. I love you. I love you. Whatever words resonate with us, whatever feels most soothing and comfortable and loving and compassionate to us in that moment. And for some of us, it may not be words. It may just be a sense of energy flowing, or just as an initial step, being in that space with yourself. And so vulnerability for me now is such a powerful word. It is a word I embrace with all that I am, and I willingly, as much as I'm able to in every moment, step into that space with myself, with others around me. But with all of life, it's a journey. We don't reach the destination when we're suddenly absolute vulnerability or absolute intimacy or absolute integrity. As we grow and expand, these words and the energies that flow through them grow and expand with us. That's the power of them, and that's the power of us. Authenticity. Such another powerful, beautiful word. For me, and I was recently exploring the etymological origins of this word, autos in Greek, classical Greek, autos meaning self, and I think it's thentes, meaning the doer or the beer, the one who acts. So it's really allowing ourselves to be who we are, allowing our truth to flow through us, being all that we are able to be in the moment. And integrity, another powerful word, which for me is about allowing the truth of our hearts, the truth of who we are, to flow through us, to be our guide, to be our compass, to be our truth. And just in that moment, just the powerful energy is just there. And that started in my taking that oath to be of service in 2004 while studying the Kabbalah. And again, I want to share this with you. I'm currently sharing the Kabbalah with a few of my friends. And today we did the very same path working from Tiferet to Chesed that I did in 2004 when I took the oath to be of service. And full circle, full spiral. It's just, I just love the synchronicity. I love the flow. Amazing times we live in. So I want to end by sharing with you that I am so grateful and so blessed and so honored to be on this journey with each and every one of you, to be walking by your side, to be watching you blossom and bloom as I watch myself blossom and bloom, ever more so. We're here to be all that we are, to be the light and the love that we are, and to share and express that in our world. And we all have unique and individual ways in which we do that. Thank you to each and every one of you for being the beautiful rainbow colours, the beautiful colours and hues that lighten and add so much colour to my life. Thank you for the songs that you share with me. Thank you for the light and the love that you share with me. Thank you to each and every one of you for being who you are. I love you all. Thank you.